So, with us all being here, I'd like to call to order the September 22nd, 2014 meeting of the Ayer Board of Health. First item on our agenda for this evening is Sandy's Smoke Shop. So, you can come up and join us at the table. What we have here is an application from Sandy Giblin. Am I pronouncing it right?
Yeah.
Sandy Giblin for Sandy's Smoke Shop permit, tobacco permit, to be operated on West Main Street, 210 West Main Street. And I just wasn't positive if I had everything that we need, because I looked in some of the other tobacco, files that had tobacco permits. Mm-hmm. And they had that excise tax certificate that is for cigarettes. Sandy is not going to sell cigarettes. She's selling loose tobacco and cigars, but she's not selling cigarettes. So I just wasn't sure if we had everything that we need, or is there another document? And apparently, no, there is no other document. So
she's selling cigars.
Yep, and loose tobacco, correct, and other tobacco products. So we do have a copy of her temporary excise tax permit. So I think that is what eventually turns into that certificate if you are selling cigarettes. But she does have at least, her number assigned, and she's registered. And I have a note here in the file. I asked Jane to call the DOR to find out what, what else she may need to have. Is there a form similar to that other form that applies to non-cigarette places? And I will read you here, September 22nd, from Jane. She contacted Mass DOR, spoke with Peter Paluccio, said that all Sandy needs is her temporary tax license. She will get her permanent license in the mail. She does not need a cigarette retailer's license for sale of cigarettes if she is not selling cigarettes. So we have received her payment of $100, and in anticipation of this being what we need, Jane and I went ahead and made up permits. The reason there are two is I'm not exactly sure which one she should get. We're sending out, and that's actually why 2015 permit renewals is the next item on the agenda. Okay. We did one that has an expiration date of December 31st, 2014. We did another one that has an expiration date of December 31st, 2015.
That's what I would do.
That's what I would do too.
It's too late in the year.
I think so too.
Absolutely.
And the regulation didn't seem to really specify, but I would be inclined to do the one for 2015.
I think the latest, if I might, Madam Chair, the latest that we ever received one before was probably early in the summer. And we explained to the person that, okay, this is 6 months ahead, you'll have to renew it. And the person said, that's fine. But this late in the year, I mean, that would be my feeling.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Any earlier, I probably would have said otherwise.
Yes.
When do you anticipate opening?
As soon as I can.
Like tomorrow? Is it-
Okay.
Tomorrow would be really good.
Yeah, our regulation just says to be paid annually or renewed annually by December.
We've done it other's before.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so.
Then let's,
through you, I just have a few
Remove this
questions.
one.
Sandy, are you
Yes.
Sandy? Okay. Couple of questions. How many staff? Is it just going to be you working in the establishment?
I'll have 4 people
Okay.
to start with.
Okay.
But they won't be full-time, they're gonna
Okay.
be
She gets
part-time.
one, we get a
Okay.
copy.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
And as far as trained in sale of tobacco to minors and all of the
Yeah,
training
I-
that they need? Okay,
I
great.
have.
And then for the sake of asking, because sometimes if you don't ask, you find out later, just tobacco products, absolutely no prepackaged foods, no chips,
No.
no gum, no anything that goes from their hands to their mouth?
Anything that
Okay.
would
Good.
bring someone under
Anything
18
else?
in,
Right, okay, great.
you know.
Yeah. Are you doing any of the smokeless tobacco products? Are you
Yes.
offering any?
Yeah. We
Okay,
have the e-pens and that kind of things.
yeah,
We
okay,
have-
okay. Okay.
Here
So-
is, if
yeah.
you'd like to see,
I'm all
there's the
set.
application, here is,
You can, it's only one signature,
yeah.
so.
Just
I don't
know
know
if you
that
wanna
we
see
need
it.
to move to it, because I think I don't know that we need an official board action, but if,
I don't think we do either. I really wanted the board's input.
Yeah, that's
primarily on
fine.
the- which version do
I
we?
don't think we need to vote on the tobacco permit.
We always just approve it.
Yeah,
Yes,
on consent.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then, as I just said, she'd have to make a copy upstairs.
Yep.
Because we
Yes.
keep one for
Yep.
our records,
Yep.
and then we give you one.
excellent.
Okay.
Good
Then,
stuff.
I am going to
So
date
you're going to
this
sell
today.
those, whatever we want to call it now, products,
Yes, it's tobacco.
e-cigarettes and all
yes.
that kind of
Mhm.
stuff.
Yes.
So now what will have to happen here is, so actually the date issued, I was going to throw this in. 9. So this will expire.
Now, you're going to be in the Devon Shopping Plaza,
Yes.
and what are you adjacent to? Are you going to be in?
I have the pizza shop is on one side, the other side is an empty
Yeah.
spot. And then there's the Chinese restaurant, there's the Chinese food store.
Yeah, so you're in between.
Yeah, in between an empty one and the
Okay.
pizza.
Now, Bridget, there is, on the bottom of our form, there's a date inspected line to be filled out. Is that, do you have to put anything there, not required, or?
Yeah, I'll just put, well, you want me just to put, not, inspected. We could just put it was inspected by
Okay,
the tobacco control program.
yes.
She was
Um,
up there?
She was up
Joan?
there already.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
she can probably get a date, so we can just put, inspected on.
Okay, then actually, Jane, you can fill that in
Okay.
on the application. Because
Should I
then you can
call
get a
Joan
hold of,
then?
yeah.
Okay.
Get hold of Joan and just find out the date, and then you can just make a notation here, date inspected, put the date, but say by the Tobacco Control Alliance. And you then make a copy of the permit, and that stays in the business file. And Sandy can have her original permit, and Jane gets in at what, 9 a.m.? So
Sign it in blue.
I signed it in black. So if you wish to pick this up tomorrow morning, you can.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're ready to go?
Yes.
Great.
Is this your last hurdle? Can you
Yes,
just pass it?
actually.
Why don't
this
you
is
just
it.
leave it in the file?
Okay,
Okay.
I will. I will do
Or
that.
maybe give me the file.
Yes, I will give you the whole file back, so even a better idea.
So
That works.
we should make a motion to approve that.
All right, so moved.
Okay, and I'll second it.
Okay,
Assuming that
Just-
we have the audience, we'll. move in
Yes,
second.
well, I think we
Exactly.
should do it right.
Yep.
that's right.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chair says aye.
Okay. Yeah, because it's, then it will just go in the renewals. This was a new
Right,
one.
right, right. So you won't be
Yes.
bothered again this year, it'll be next year that you
Okay.
have to.
Thank you very much.
So when you have a chance, please pass that
Thank
down.
you.
Okay, so
Thank you all so
you-
much.
you're all set. Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you very much. Best of luck.
Thanks.
So then, as a second item I put on here, just kind of more as a reminder to me, since Jane and I are both new, is what do we have to do and what is the schedule for permit renewals, the tobacco, the food? Should we be getting things out now?
Food is
Food,
Okay,
we do it
good.
automatically. Food, tanning, camps, trailer parks. We take care of all, basically all the renewals.
Okay,
The only ones I think you have to do are tobacco.
okay.
And I think that excise one is every 2 years.
Yep. I agree, because
Okay.
we just had it done this past cycle,
I thought we just did.
and so, but they are renewed annually, but there is this should be upstairs, and if it's not, it wasn't mine, but I inherited a copy of it when I sat as chair. It's kind of a general calendar for when things
When
could
things-
go out. I think maybe Mary, it was when you were,
interesting.
maybe with Michelle or with Ruth.
We started that.
You can have that, you can make a copy and get it. It's really an outline,
Yeah.
but But what it might do is just give you both just an outline of when things could go out.
I think we always sent them out by the end of October.
I was just
because-
gonna say
yeah,
October.
They have to have that renewed
I
before
see,
December
yeah.
31st.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
The only thing I don't know is, I know we did everything by street. I had said we should do these by year because they could all be in one envelope, so I don't know. Do you know, Heather?
I don't know if she got to those yet. I think she was doing them. We did our property files by street, we did our food files by establishment. And so you might want to check and see if tobacco was done by establishment or year, because one doesn't necessarily imply
Right,
food
right.
establishment, as we've just found out.
Right.
So
Yeah.
double check and see
'Cause
how
I
they
think
were
that
done.
Yeah.
Would be separately
I think the
filed.
chicken and these should just be in a file because they're automatically
Yes, chickens are
every year.
separate.
Yeah.
Chickens are
Okay.
separate.
Yeah.
But then a copy of all the permits also goes into either the property file or the establishment file. But
Well,
as far as keeping the master records, the chickens are
Because I
separate.
know when Michelle set it up, it would say 2010, you'd get all the ones, 2011, and then if they
Yeah.
don't renew or they close or something, you
Yeah,
just put it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So actually, Jane, that would probably be a good task, is to just try to find, there's probably something on the computer already for what we have for permits, and do a little database. And so I'm gonna pass this
You can
down
keep that. That's
to
probably
you,
even
'cause
on the
that has
computer.
Fabulous.
the dates.
Yep.
Okay, excellent. So we only do tobacco. All right, public
And the
input, we don't
chickens.
have anyone.
Yep, and chicken.
No, I'm sorry, yes, and the
Back on
chickens,
the
yeah.
chickens.
Yeah, I was thinking more end of the year stuff. Chickens are in the spring.
Yeah.
They're a spring animal. All right, so we are next up with the trash hauler regulations. So everyone has the,
There is something going on.
yeah,
Crazy.
sure sounds like it. The draft that I had put out in the last session is still the draft that's on the table. Just a couple of things that I wanted us to think about before we really get into deliberating on the regulations is I took a look at, I had the regulations for Littleton, Shirley, Groton, Lancaster, South Hadley, and Hingham. And the place where I'm finding that there's quite a difference is in the amount of the fee, and then also whether the permit goes to the company or it's a permit per truck. Lancaster charges $200 for the first truck and then $150 per truck after that. And they require a sticker on each truck. Shirley also requires a sticker on each truck, but some of the other regs were silent as to whether there's a sticker on the truck, and actually the South Hadley ones said that the truck has to carry the permit at all times, so that it's, or a copy of the permit, I think, so it's available to be shown. So I wasn't sure what you felt was most appropriate there.
Well, when we started this, and I said this to Bridget, I think we got off kilter a little, I can't think of a better word, because we started them because the DPW superintendent had asked and said in his town, etc. So we were focused on that. And then last meeting, when Heather said, well, we should give them to our health agent, then I said, you know what, these are Board of Health regs. And they should be Board of Health put out, Board of Health regulated, we have to enforce them. One thing Littleton did say, and I think was that had to have a Board of Health sticker on the vehicle, because how will you know unless you memorize all these? If you're driving down the street and you see a trash hauler, how will you know
Right.
unless they have a sticker on? So I think that, and then when I was talking to Bridget just briefly, she reminded me of some of the, because what do? We regulate public health. And if dumpsters aren't emptied, if they have trash overflowing and they have vermin and it smells and everything, who are the people going to call? They're going to call us, and
That's
we're going to
correct, yeah.
enforce it. And we've had that several times, Bridget. Remember the horrible mess we had on Central Avenue, and then you've called me a couple of times because you got,
Summertime we'll get,
oh,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
they're
somebody
getting
puts a
stinky.
dumpster
Yeah,
up
you-
against the back of
Yes.
their property,
Yes.
but it's abuts your property, and you're getting the
I think we
smell and all
actually had
that.
one over on Washington Street too.
We
that
did. Yep,
Yes.
General area.
yeah.
So you've actually got two issues there. The Littleton, in their regulation anyway, doesn't say anything about having anything displayed. They say that the dumpster in the truck has to display who it belongs to, but it doesn't have anything about displaying, at least in the regulation, a permit or
Thought they did.
anything like that.
I don't know, but I mean, when we do, like,
You might be able to,
when we do the
find
septic
it.
haulers, it's totally
Yeah.
separate. The septic haulers though, we license and inspect those. We just
Uh-huh.
have we have them, we put a sticker on it, just so
Yeah.
that when you're around, you know that they've paid and,
yeah.
Are they on each truck?
yep.
Well,
So
you
I
know-
mean, that you can, I mean, it's completely up to you, but you could, issue a permit for a company. But then depending on how many trucks they have,
Right.
put the stickers
Give
on
them
the truck, just so that, it's identifiable to
Right.
who needs to see it, police if there's
No,
an
that's
issue
just
or.
displaying their business name and phone number.
That's
That's
not a
displaying
bad
On our
idea.
vehicles.
Right, but it's not the permit, it's the business name and phone number.
without
Is-
further
How many do we
hauler's
have?
permit. So,
Here's a thought, this is something I found in Hingham, that
Yeah.
I thought Hingham was interesting for a couple of reasons. One is that they had some really detailed requirements for dumpsters that I kind of liked. And
Yeah.
I didn't know if this would, if you thought this would be appropriate, but they do talk about placement on a dumpster on a property should not be less than 30 feet from a lot line, never less than 5 feet vertically and horizontally below any window or other opening. So I thought that was kind of interesting. That was one of the few that I found that actually had like some
Yeah.
specific feet requirements for
Yeah.
where to place a dumpster. And the other thing, because I can hit both of those in one, Hingham also had some interesting regulations because they publish on their website their list of permitted haulers.
Oh.
And so they have the company name, the contact name, the
Yeah.
address, and a telephone number. And that actually might be a better way to do it than stickering trucks.
The only question I had about that, and it's just, again, I'm thinking a trash truck.
Yeah,
If there's trash coming out of it,
yeah.
or there's an issue, how do the police, or let's just say Board of Health, or anybody that would be involved, DPW, how do they know that that particular truck has been seen or licensed by us? So there's some sort of
Yeah.
you can't, I mean, just quick identifying. So that's just, to me, I mean, the big, for me, Board of Health wise, I'm thinking
Yeah, yeah,
public
right,
health,
right.
trash,
Right.
coming out the back.
Yeah, they
and it should-
wouldn't actually know that specific truck. They would
Right.
only know that hauler.
Right, so,
Yes.
I don't know if that's important, if that's something to look at, but.
oh, I think it should be
It-
on
it's
the
just-
vehicle and the year
The-
that we gave it.
And the only reason, again, I bring it up is the septic
Yeah.
haulers. We just put a sticker on the back, and it has, so 1 year we'll do red sticker, it will say, just use a Sharpie, like
I see.
1999.
Yeah.
The next year you do a white sticker, you put it on, so that we know that that truck has been inspected, and then,
I think that's a good, and you're going to have, having fielded those kinds of complaints in my former career, it is good to know if you haven't seen a truck, maybe they're covering a route because somebody's truck broke down, but at least if you can call them
Right.
out on that and say, you need to have a contingency for that,
well,
because
again,
Yeah,
it's not,
yeah.
it's not the same thing, but we do the mobile food trucks too.
Yeah.
And there might be, one company might have 5 trucks, so
Yeah,
if they try to slip in a couple more trucks,
yeah.
we
We
know.
need to know.
we see that sticker and we know,
Right.
all right,
Right.
that truck's been
Right.
inspected and okay, but.
Right.
Right.
So it's
right.
just,
I
it
think if-
seems like there's not gonna be, at that list for Hingham,
Yeah,
how many companies? Like, it doesn't seem like an obnoxious thing to ask them to put them on the truck. We'll probably maybe have half that.
yeah, they've got about,
We've got
Looks
a
like about
ton
17 or
of
so.
trash haulers in town.
yeah,
I mean, would you say there's more than 10?
that's probably about 10.
12, I've seen a couple
10,
recently.
12
I
on
would
the
say,
list.
Up to you, just a thought.
honestly, if we
Yeah.
are going to pass these regulations and we are truly looking to protect public health and enforce our authority, then I think we have to sticker every truck.
I agree with you, absolutely.
I think so, only because I have been on the other side
Yeah.
of a septic truck, and you're like, wait a minute, this is the
Yeah,
new
yeah.
vacuum truck, we haven't seen this yet, and it's not, doesn't have the lock to secure the hose and, the transport
Yeah,
things, and so,
And that's, I mean, it's just a
Yeah.
simple thing, but, in the summertime when the ice cream trucks are floating around,
Yep.
like the police know, like they look for
See,
a sticker
that's-
and they're
Yeah.
from Columbia,
That's
and
the
like,
thing.
Exactly.
Is that-
Yeah,
you wouldn't want to permit, you're not going to permit one mobile food company and have him with a fleet of trucks. You're going to want to have inspected every
Absolutely.
truck.
Yes.
Right.
It's the same thing,
Right.
even though it's solid waste and the idea is that it's encapsulated in bags or containers,
yeah,
the risk is still there, and
Yep.
so I say it's consistent. And honestly, it's not really asking these solid waste guys to do something that they're not doing in another town. So we're not asking them to, we're saying $150 permit fee.
I think that's what we said in here, right? Or did I leave it
It
out
does.
of here
It
and
says
say
under
it's-
section 8, it says $150.
Ah, okay, all right.
You definitely want to remove the year from that, because these are going to be regulations that are going to sit in perpetuity, so you don't want to have the year on there.
Well, but,
Well, if they're gonna renew every year.
Right. I know, but initial fee is 150.
Right.
I'm saying that she went out of her way to say for calendar year 2015.
yeah.
Am I not, I don't have the same ones as you, because this is
No,
what I
you
got
do.
in my packet.
It's the same. It's the same. Mine is just printed without.
Oh, I
the-
wanted to make sure I saw the changes.
Yeah.
I just didn't know, do we need to cite that in this reg? But, if you don't,
Well, you know
if you
what,
think it's
I
fine.
looked at that too, and a lot of the other towns.
I won't argue that point.
Some of the towns had it in the regs. Some of them did not. Some of them just said, the fee will be set by Board of Health. So we could actually take the fee out.
No, not the
of the
fee, the
regulation.
year. The year is what I'm saying to remove, not the fee. The fee should be there. It's the permit fee for a solid waste hauler permit will be $150 for the calendar year 2015.
Yeah, I know, but then if you take out just the year, aren't you left with, it'll be $150? So if we want to raise it next year,
We wanna put that language in that says that we can
Right,
change it
right.
if rules and regs change, without
Yeah.
having another, remember what I originally
yes,
put
which,
without a
right, which is
public
what we've
hearing?
got here, yeah,
Yeah.
we can adjust it in the
I'm
future.
not, I don't,
at
it's,
public
it's,
hearing.
it's tiny little point that I don't even need to argue. I'm just saying that when you start putting years into things and then years
Yeah, I know, I
change,
know, I know, I
you
thought the
know,
same
I don't,
thing.
I don't want to open these regs year on
No.
year.
Nope, I don't
So
either.
that's why
I
I'm
agree.
thinking, and at the end of the reg, we're gonna sign it and date it anyway, the year we adopted it. I don't
Okay.
know, I just,
Yeah, I
you know
see what
what,
you're saying, yeah,
removing dates,
A good
Yeah.
point.
yeah, I think that is a good point.
Madam Chair?
So yes? Uh-huh.
Bridget reminded me, when we did, because they were brand new, the outdoor wood burning boilers, when we
Okay.
did those regs, we got, like you've done, we've
Mm-hmm.
got regs from everybody.
Yeah,
We started talking, we took a little bit each week.
yeah,
Then we got suggestions from the Shoba Board of Health. So it took a while, didn't it, Bridget, when we did the outdoor, it took a while, but eventually we got
Yeah.
them exactly as we want. I think we should employ that same thing with this, go page by page. If
Yep.
we agree on that, let's say it, and then meantime, Bridget, you've got some that you're gonna be working on. So Heather's right, if we're gonna do it, let's take a little bit, we have to take a couple of months more?
Yeah,
Let's
I
do
no, I
it
think
and
that's
get it
fine.
absolutely how we want
Yeah.
it, because we don't want to be having
that-
to amend it or something a year.
Absolutely.
And
I think that's
regardless of
fine.
when we adopt it, they're gonna comply or they're not gonna operate.
Exactly.
an account.
Exactly. We can-
Whether it's January 1 or June 1st.
Exactly.
They're
That's
gonna pay
correct.
for
Yeah.
a year.
We
That's
can
right.
bring
So-
this into effect whenever
Absolutely.
whenever we're ready.
It doesn't
That's
matter
true.
when we do it, if we adopt it in March and say it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna go from March until
Yeah, some of
March
the,
of the next year.
you know, some of the
It's
other
whenever
towns
we
do
it.
that. Shirley, it looks like, it was mostly
Used to
calendar year.
have some odd permit
Shirley's
schedules
on in
in
July.
Acton, like May to
Groton
May,
does it in November.
things.
Yeah, it's whenever we get it finished.
Even the old milk and cream ones used to go,
Oh.
I think, May to May. Do they still do those? Yeah.
Milk and
Totally digress, sorry.
Yeah, that's
So
okay.
there were some
So
odd
that's-
time
so-
frames.
Yeah, so, but that's okay, because if we, that may be to our advantage if we stagger it at a time when we're not
Absolutely.
doing a lot of other
Yep,
permits and fees and so forth.
yep.
One thing that I noticed when I started doing this just little spreadsheet comparison, so actually, since I printed a few copies, let me just give this to each of you. Because this is a little bit of a comparison of some of the things that are in our regs
Are you
versus
getting
others.
two?
Yeah, one's for.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One's for
Thank
Jane,
you.
just for the file. So I've got town, what was the date that the regulation became effective? What's the fee if it was stated? Interval, you know, when, that's the interval, when is the permit valid? When is the renewal interval? This recyclables list was interesting. We could shorten our regulation if we take a look at what some of the other towns have done and not include the list of recyclables, but just reference
I think
the
that's,
I'm
CMR.
always a fan of reference,
Yep.
and you could reference it, and then presuming that there'll be a digital copy of this on the web, you could even hyperlink for
Yep,
the people that might be reading it online. I'm always a fan of that for the same reason about not putting a calendar date into
Yeah,
something, is
good
that
point.
if that list
Yep.
changes,
Yep.
you're already linked to it, and
Yes.
then, so I mean, that was, one of the things we were discussing was.
South Hadley
was-
does that. South Hadley references the CMR, and then they referred to, although it wasn't available online, they referred to the attached list, which I think was referenced actually in their application. So it sounds like it goes out with the application or
Yep,
something like that.
okay.
So, yep, so that's a good one to look at. This next one has to do with, I think whether or not we get some, I'm gonna have to ask Mark Wetzel again, but whether or not we can get some state money for recycling. And that's if we require our haulers to offer trash and recycling at the same rate, then who is the woman, Mary, from the state?
Irene?
Irene.
Yes, I believe this came through Irene Condon, that there is some kind of a financial benefit to doing, to putting something in here that it's going to be at the same rate. They don't all do that, but a lot of them do.
I'm not a fan of that because I know the state doesn't require it right now. And one of the things, if you remember, we said with that, when we did the curbside workshop, is
Yeah.
if something happens down the road
Mm-hmm.
in a few years that the state changes their rules, then we have to readdress this. But I'm not a fan of forcing a business to do this or that or the other. I'm not.
I think the ones that do it, it's all tied into, and I'm not even sure if it's really significant, that financial
what do you
benefit or
think,
not.
Bridget? I'm not in favor of forcing someone. If the state says you have to, everybody has to recycle, but to tell a businessman you have to offer
Yeah, I know.
recycling, and you have to offer it at the same rate you do your
Mm-hmm.
trash pickup, I'm not a favor of government giving absolutes.
I actually, while we would want to encourage the haulers to kind of tell
Offer
them
it,
how
yes.
much they charge, is in my day job right now, I work with third parties, and a lot of times people say to me, well, how come they can charge that much? And I said, well, I don't manage what they charge. I only manage what we charge them. you know?
Right.
And so it's kind of
Yeah.
that same idea.
yeah.
And so, I don't know how the current haulers that operate in town, I know I see trash haulers, and then I do see some recycling trucks, and so I know that they offer them.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people don't want to recycle. I have one right in my neighborhood. They just have one barrel,
That's
and
right.
that's what they choose to do, and others do the both, so.
That's right, not everybody
I would be-
does
yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put it in the regs, you encourage recycling.
Right.
But I don't think we,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing, and it's just kind of a side note since we're talking about it. Boston, in their requirements, in their regs require, if they offer recycling, to offer educational materials.
Yes, I saw that in a lot of the rigs too.
So I didn't know if we want to, I didn't see it in ours, so I didn't know if we want to.
Yeah,
to incorporate
I
that.
actually like that idea.
If they offer recycling, that they
Yeah.
should
Well, you know
provide
what though?
education.
I
maybe.
have in my draft of the reg, it's in section 4 somewhere, that they must offer recycling. They don't have to do it at the same rate, but they do have to offer recycling.
Well, they have to offer it. People
They have
don't
to
have
offer
to
it,
take
right.
it, but they have to offer it.
That's right, they have to offer it. Because otherwise, you're setting up a situation where
Somebody can't recycle it.
somebody can't recycle.
Right.
And that's going to
I
drive
understand.
them to put recyclables in the trash if they just don't have that option, so. Okay, but yeah, I agree with that. I don't think it has to be.
Excuse me.
no,
At the same
but they
rate.
should offer it.
Yes.
Yeah. Customer lists, most of them required that there be a customer list. I have some comparative information here on penalties. Reporting, this was a question with Mark Wetzel, what does he need for a report? Once again, I think it was Hingham actually provided, Hingham had a lot of information. They had a format for their quarterly report, a little form to fill in. They had the list of haulers, and then they even had the letters that would go out, and they went out from the Board of Health. So, for example, dear residential customer, Hingham Board of Health would like to inform you about the new recycling and dumpster regulations. It will impact how your household waste is disposed. And then it
But
talks
they
about what
have
can be
mandatory
recycled.
curbside.
I don't believe it's mandatory. You can use their curbside, or you can use your own. Now, they actually have a recycling coordinator.
Okay, but let me rephrase that then. They
Yeah.
don't have a transfer station.
Yes,
So-
they do. Yeah, they do.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
then why would they be sending that out to every household?
Because it looked to me, from the way that this is written, that this was written as kind of a one-size-fits-all. It can apply if you have a hauler that's bringing your stuff to the transfer station. Maybe they have a closed transfer station
That's
where a hauler
what-
has to bring it there. But I don't know that means that they have town-wide, single-service curbside pickup. I don't know.
I think we
But-
can drive ourselves crazy. The more towns you look at regs,
I was.
But you keep
Yeah.
picking up little interesting things, though, because I didn't see this as something that we would send out to residents of the town of Ayer. I thought this might make a better template for something that we would send out to the haulers, to say, this is to inform you of the new Board of Health trash hauler permit regulation,
we definitely
encloses
have
the
to notify
regulation.
everybody
Right.
that they now
Right.
have to have a permit.
Right, right.
Yeah, and I think that we also have to somehow notify, and I'm not sure what the best way to do this is, but that's something we can work out, to notify households and businesses that their trash hauler has to be. So I think we have to kind of push this from both sides.
We could probably figure something out
Yeah.
to let
Yeah.
the residents know. You could put it, you could, that message could be delivered in a number of outlets. You could use the website, you could use
Yeah.
APAC, you could use the Facebook page, you could use,
Yeah.
something, when people, there's different media outlets, I think, that would be very little cost to us
I think so,
to let
too.
people know.
Yes, that shouldn't be a.
And our lovely audience at home.
Yes, exactly. And Jane actually had a good idea. This was in regard to the rabies thing, but we could also contact one of the local publications, Public Spirit, or I don't know if Little Sun would have any interest, but certainly Public Spirit, to do a little article about this is something new in the town of
Absolutely.
Ayer.
They could come to a meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, when we're ready and we have the
Absolutely.
public hearing
That's
anyway.
exactly it.
Yes,
And then
we're
the
not there
messaging
yet.
could be carved out. We'd get there. That would be the easier part of it, is the rollout.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
So,
through you, Pam, Bridget, have you started to do a review of the regs yet?
Oh, just, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay. All
So
right.
that was what, I mean, I came up with, what I just looked at real quick was the heck was it? Oh, the dumpster location.
yeah, dumpster location, yep.
And then the education for recycling. I mean,
Yeah.
everything else kind of makes sense to me.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, you just, every time you go over them though, like.
You want to find, you find
Yeah.
something else, or.
Yeah, I know.
And then, where did you see the thing, what town was it that had setback requirements of 30 feet from a property line?
That was.
Because that's, our lots are
That
small.
was- I know,
Like,
I
that's-
know.
That would
I
be
actually
really-
would be.
That was
and-
Hingham.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So I would
We're
say
a
no.
tiny old community.
Only
Exactly.
because, I mean, some of the lots that you see, even coming in on Main Street, their frontage is only enough for
Yeah.
the house and maybe the driveway, but, and then, you know, the other one about having it directly underneath the window, I guess, you know,
I did
I guess
like
it
that.
depends on the nature of what you're doing though, because if I'm hooking stuff out the window because I'm cleaning out my house, it's best under my window.
Right, you know, I mean,
But I get I think maybe the gist of it was, if you're the neighbor to a local food establishment, you don't want their dumpster
Right.
under your window, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess, again, just totally thinking out loud, it could be worded in such a way that, you know, so that the dumpster is not placed in an area that's creating a public health nuisance. So basically, it gives you
Okay.
That's good language
it gives
right
us,
there.
some wiggle room, like you're not,
Yes.
because there's some, like you said, there's some that the property line is
And
just.
if you
Yeah.
do it exact measures,
I
you're
agree.
going to have more problem. That was a good.
That's what I was
right
stuck
there.
on, was
I
what is
agree.
what
No,
should
that
that
one
wasn't
distance
that
be?
with
Yeah.
some of the tobacco laws, you know, as far as workplace, how far away, you know, all of those things that
Yeah.
are still being kind of sorted out, because how far is too far away from a window?
Right,
In an
right.
apartment complex, how far away from
Yeah.
a doorway, how far away from a grocery store entry? It's all relative,
Yeah,
but if we say
Yeah,
do
I
not
like
create a
that.
public health nuisance, it
Public health
opens-
nuisance,
It
yeah.
gives us the discretion to cite accordingly.
yeah,
Good.
I do like that.
Okay.
And so for I like the idea of moving, you know, this thing about recycling things out of the regulation and just referring to the CMR, because then as the CMR gets updated,
This is it, right?
We don't have to keep going back.
4-3, yeah, provide a reference and a link.
yes, yeah.
So we'll just,
Okay.
Strike
So
all the
this-
bullets
Yep,
and
we're
just
gonna reference,
reference
The CMI.
yeah.
in fact, this is exactly what the wording that a lot of towns do, is that they just refer to DEP regulations and the Mass Solid Waste Plan, so.
so we'll just cross out all those bullets.
Yep,
Yeah, cross out
All
the
right.
bullets.
All right.
In 4.3?
yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I can kind of reword it so that
Yeah.
it doesn't look like there's a Mass Solid Waste Plan. Now, the thing about, right now it does say a valid permit or sticker on each vehicle conducting business. I'm a little torn about that one. With the sewage trucks, who actually inspects them?
We
And
do.
you do, okay. And is there like a checklist, or is there a standard?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you, I don't per se do them, I only do them, fill in and do them when,
Yeah.
Ira or Jim or Rick can't, but, yeah, I mean, they just make sure that they're sealed properly, that they're not leaking, you know.
That
mean,
I can really see with,
Yeah.
I can see that with sewage.
You know, that's the big thing. I mean, with
Yeah.
trash trucks, I mean, I think the big thing with that is the trash flying out. You know, I think that that's probably going to be the biggest issue that
Yeah.
we're going to have. Or when they do the recycles and they dump things, that stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think, you know, really, it's mostly not so much as inspecting them as just making sure that we know that that company's licensed and that the trucks are, you know, valid.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting to, is if we sticker each truck, would we then have to inspect each truck? And do we know what we would inspect for?
I mean, that we can look into. I mean, that can be like the next part. Like, what would we be looking for?
Yeah.
Really, I mean,
Okay.
it doesn't mean that we're looking for too much. It's mostly to make sure that they're with a licensed company and that, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, and there is a containment issue with them, and you look for signs of wear and tear and maybe signs of corrosion where the waste isn't being held properly.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that those trucks leak too. I mean,
That's
with
what
the
I mean,
yeah, like,
is, you know,
if
Yeah,
they're pouring stuff
yeah.
we'd
in.
be looking
Yeah.
for general sanitation, yeah.
I don't think it'd be. I mean, the septic trucks don't take long.
No.
Right.
It's not
So
long
let's-
enough.
You know, you check the
Yeah,
deck, you
okay.
check
Right.
the lock, you check to make
Okay.
sure it's not leaking.
But I mean, we can look into that. What do they get inspected for?
Yeah, that would be interesting to look. I didn't see any of these regulations that I looked at that talked about inspecting a
And it
truck,
might-
but
we
that
might-
doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Right, but I mean, it doesn't even mean that, you know, I mean, again, that's something that the board has to decide on. If you're gonna give, let's just say, Company A a permit to operate in your town, does that
Yeah.
mean that permit covers all of their trucks?
Yeah,
And if they have
Yeah,
80
exactly.
trucks, if that's the case,
yeah,
then as long as you know that, if there's a short list and that list can be distributed, I would
Yeah.
say the important people to have that particular list, who's driving around and who has it, is the police department, because they're the ones that enforce the moving vehicles.
Yeah. yeah.
So if they have a list of the 10 companies, and as long as those trucks are labeled and identified as
Yeah,
Company A's,
yeah.
you know, truck,
Yeah.
they don't, you know, sometimes you see the trucks and they're not even marked.
Yeah, that
It's like
I think we've got
it's a
it.
backup truck, you know, rent a truck or
Right,
whatever.
right, Yeah,
So, you know, that's kind of what you have to look at.
Yeah.
If you want to just do it so that the company is paying and allowing them to have as many trucks as they want, then that list would go to
yeah.
the police
yeah.
department so that they know that they're licensed.
Yeah,
It's sort of the same with
It's kind of
4th of July when they come in. You give the police a list of vendors and everything so
Yeah.
they can check it out as far
Yeah, I
as
mean, I-
food and stuff like that, out-of-town vehicles and everything.
yeah.
I mean, we don't give the police the list for any temporary events, stuff like that, but they have to have the list of like the ice cream trucks.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Because of
Same thing.
yeah, yeah.
the laws that pertain to that, but, you know, I guess that's where you have to look at it.
Yeah.
Do you want to just say you're paying this permit fee of $150 and it's unlimited trucks? But that's when you want to make sure that they understand that all the trucks need to be identified
Yeah.
as such and such.
Yeah.
Do we really want to get into inspecting the trucks?
Well, that's what, I don't
I
think
don't
for
know.
$150 we're gonna be able to inspect
And that's
all
what
the
I said
trucks.
way back in April. Remember,
Yeah.
we don't have an inspectional service department.
So, you know, it's really, like I said, up to you to look at.
Yeah.
That
that
makes me
decision.
lean a little more towards the idea of permitting the company
Right.
and going on the assumption that you're innocent until proven guilty. So if that company is found to have, they're cited for having trash leaking, and there are some stuff in the reg as it stands, or at
Right.
least the draft now, you can't be, dropping
and I mean-
trash around and,
Right, and I mean, it's kind of like the dumpster, you can put it so that, you know, if the truck is found to be creating a public health nuisance, because what is a nuisance? I mean, it's,
yeah,
you know, if you
Yeah.
say, if you make it a little bit broad, it's, you know,
yeah, yeah.
they can say, well, your regulation says this and this was happening. Well, anything that really pertains to public health, we can apply to the truck.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
yeah. It makes me lean a little more towards just doing the company I'm
Right.
afraid
I mean,
we're
now
gonna
that we're
create a
talking,
monster if we're doing the
Yeah.
trust.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, thinking about it, that's what I'm starting to lean towards.
Yeah,
Making
yeah.
the company responsible, but making sure, again, that the trucks are identified
Yeah,
as such and such
yeah.
company, the name, the phone number. You know,
And I spoke with both Chief Murray and Mark Wetzel, and they've both agreed to, sign on along with Board of Health as enforcement authorities for this. So we could make sure that that list, it's not only on our website, but that they have it so that everybody's kind of looking for trucks that are not on the list of authorized
right. And
haulers.
do we have non-criminal disposition in there?
I think so.
Because that was one thing that I saw that another town
Yeah.
did. Because I don't know how much you want other agencies to enforce your regulations.
No,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're the Board of Health regs.
that's right.
So how much?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
do
if
you-
they're, if they just come back to us and say, we saw X doing Y, that's different, but they're
Right.
not our.
No, it actually doesn't, as it
Enforcement
stands
arm.
now, specifically call out non-criminal disposition.
I read
But,
something
yeah.
with one of the towns that under non-criminal disposition, they gave the police the authority, and that would be the only other agency that I would suggest, only because I think they can deal with the moving vehicle part of it. It's not like I'm gonna, be running down the street chasing.
Yeah,
And we don't
Yeah,
have
I can add
anybody
that.
else except us doing any of our regulations.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a thought. I don't know, again, how, legally, if they're Board of Health regs,
They should be enforced by the Board of Health.
but then
yeah,
again,
the most common in the ones that I looked at were Board of Health and Police Department,
what's TS? There was
transfer station. They didn't
Okay.
specifically call it DPW, they called it transfer station.
Okay,
And then Hingham was all, they brought in everybody, the fire department, the Board of Health, the
No.
DPW.
yeah, no, I mean, again,
The Board of Health regs.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
it's kind of like
Yeah.
us trying to enforce fire regs.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't want to be a joint agency in enforcing
yeah.
other other departments regs.
No?
So that's something.
Yeah, in fact, having DPW on here was at one point because we were, for a couple of reasons. One was we were talking about the reports that they have to send in, and I didn't want us to be in the middle of having to send those reports and,
Can we have it go
get them
jointly
over.
then, so that the board knows what's going on at the same time, so that
Why can't it just come to us and we can send them the copy?
Why even get involved? Just,
I didn't know, I mean, and again, I'm just for you guys,
Yeah.
thinking out loud, do you want to know how much is being accumulated and
I don't.
distributed?
No.
no.
Okay.
See, it's something that Mark needs for whatever reason. DPWs need to know that.
I mean,
it's
they
not a
can-
Board of Health thing.
Why
Okay.
does he need to know that?
I think he has to report it. I found it in everybody's regulations, and I believe it has to be reported to the state. It has to be reported in terms of what was recyclable, what was not, and I think it's also like if it went to a landfill, what landfill it went to.
Okay.
It's some kind of DEP reporting.
Well, I understand that he has to do that for the town in the transfer station, but how could he possibly do that now with 10 different trash haulers in town, et
Well, I think
cetera?
that's it. I think he's not able to do it now.
That's
And
the
it-
first I've ever heard of it. Like I said, I know they have to do it for
Yeah.
the town here,
Yeah.
and whatever he picks up on public buildings and that, but
He explained that it is supposed to be everything that's picked up within his town, within his jurisdiction. And it wasn't exotic, it was in everybody's regulation,
Yeah,
virtually
I
everybody's
did-
regulation.
It was kind of like the animal control thing and the rabies thing, like,
Yeah.
you know how like
it's-
we just didn't know how many heads were going which way, and
Yeah, yeah.
did you want to know how
Yeah.
much tonnage
yeah.
was going in and going out? If
No,
you don't
it's
need to
kind
know,
of-
then
No, it's more
Okay.
like we wanted to tie it in with the regulation, because then if they don't do it, we
Right.
would have some leverage.
Right.
But no, it's not something the Board of Health needs to know.
No.
And I'd rather just empower DPW to deal with,
Well, just send it to him,
Yeah.
whatever he
Yeah.
does with it is
That's my
his
thought,
business.
Yeah.
is that if we're gonna enforce it and it's a thing that we could use to take action against a hauler, then we should just get it and have it forwarded. Or have it sent to us, copied to DPW. That way we just still maintain our enforcement. I was looking for where do we have it in here, and my eyes are just blurred.
I know.
With the we don't have
It
anything in
is-
here about stickers on trucks and permits, right?
okay.
Am I missing it?
Yeah, we do, hang on. The thing about 4.11 is this exact figure
Oh,
of
right.
tonnage of refuse, blah, blah, blah. And then, right now, it's a little wishy-washy. 4.6 says they must conspicuously display business name and telephone number on all vehicles.
Got it. That's their business, right.
Board of Health reserves the right to require them to display
Yeah.
evidence of a valid permit or sticker on each vehicle.
Okay.
So
That was the
if
discussion
we want to do that
earlier.
later, yeah.
So maybe
You know,
have,
we could just have them, put the onus on them to put a copy of our permit in every single
Yeah, I'm
truck's
just gonna
cab in their book,
Exactly.
because you know DOT,
Right.
they have logs anyway because
Yeah.
they have to.
That's
So
right.
we put the onus on their admin to make a copy to put in every single truck. That
Because
way,
it
That's
says
what
a
South
lot of
Hadley
it.
does.
that's what I
Yeah.
would say, as opposed
Yeah.
to stickering.
Okay, truck carries.
Because a lot of the regs say they have to have conform to
Just like our
DOT
mobile food
regs.
guys, they gotta have a copy of their permit on their truck.
That's
right,
right.
right.
We could, if we wanted to, leave in this, we reserve the right to require you to display evidence of a valid permit or sticker. But just make it now that the absolute requirement is you have on every
Right.
vehicle your business name, your telephone number, and you carry.
Copy of your
Yeah,
permit.
copy of the permit. Okay.
I think that's fine.
Okay. Okay, on all trucks. Okay. So let's see what else we got here. So the definitions come right out of the regulation.
And then before I had
I'm
said
gonna get rid of this
under
stuff.
your 4.12,
Oh, 4.12.
that was the one that I said it should be the Board of Health, period. We don't.
Oh yeah, enforcement.
Yes, yeah,
That's what we were just discussing.
Right.
Right.
But
is
don't we
the
want to leave that
enforcement.
police officer also?
no.
Why?
You can, because they're Board of Health regs,
Yeah,
and you could have an agreement right now, the police chief changes, and he looks at this and says, what the heck is this? That isn't a police officer's job to enforce regs.
but sometimes when something has been done a particular way, it wasn't unusual. Virtually everybody except one also had police department.
I mean,
Because police
Well, what
department
did
does
you
have,
say, Bridget, with regards to police?
I mean, I think it's important only because with moving trucks,
yeah,
So with regard, well, then put something like that.
we're not off. I mean, if we're not on, I mean, we don't work all the time. If there's really an emergency, the police are going to be the first on scene.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
then put language, something with regards to the truck, but truly, it's the Board of Health that's.
Right. I think
the regs.
I honestly don't think the police are going to get involved unless they have to.
No,
I mean, why?
right,
You know what I
they're
mean?
not.
Exactly,
They will call
yeah.
us,
It's like
but then
the-
if they,
Yep.
Right.
there just has to be. I think it's important for that mechanism. If they can't reach the board, then and if there's a problem, then they have that ability.
yeah.
Like I said, it's, you know, I don't think they're gonna be rushing out to do anything, and I think they'll always, like, even when there's a fire or whatnot at a food establishment or anything that is,
They're the first responders.
anything that they
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
needs attention of the board, they call.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, I mean, I just think that mechanism, I mean,
Right.
I don't think it can hurt, and if they agree to it now, and then on a, you know, in 5 years, if there's a new police chief and they don't want to do it, then so be it.
Yeah, we'll deal with it then, I guess.
Right, exactly.
I don't think we're gonna be dealing with them much on that.
And I don't think there's gonna, knock on wood,
I don't think so
whatever, but
either, really.
I don't,
No.
I don't think there's gonna be a whole heck of a lot.
No, I don't either. The ones that we get right now
I think
are the dumpsters
I was
in
just
the
gonna say, I
yard
think
that-
the biggest is the dumpsters.
Exactly. It's not
Yeah.
the trucks, it's the overflowing dumpsters or, you know, the
close
house is
to my house.
foreclosed on, you got
Right.
people in there, you've got to call somebody
think,
that's
too,
out of
it's-
state.
The, and I don't even know, I've read so many, my head's spinning, but
I know.
I don't even know if there's a time frame. So for those dumpsters, the big dumpsters that come in, is there a time frame that we want to allocate? Because sometimes they just seem to stay there.
Are you talking like construction?
Yeah, well, not the construction, but if
I
some-
don't think they should be there over 3 months. If there's something over 3 months, if you're renovating a big building and it's there more than 3 months, then you're probably not doing your job. You started it and just went off somewhere. What do you feel, Heather, on that?
I mean, I don't know.
I
if
think
it's
that's
Talk
even
about,
going
you
there.
talked about temporary dumpsters,
Yeah,
didn't we
correct.
have
It's-
something
yeah,
you
it
did?
is
yes.
in here. It's,
Okay.
That's what I was just flipping through.
yeah, I was just looking for that too. Container requirements.
It's on 5.5.
Thank
You've
you.
got
5.5,
temporary.
yeah. So temporary, they're exempted, no, but there's actually, I know what it is. I think it's in the definitions, I think that's where I put it. Temporary
Oh, yes,
dumpster,
a
no longer than
dumpster.
120 days. A dumpster or series of dumpsters that are
Okay.
continually
Well,
replaced.
okay, so that's 4 months, so
Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Or as longer if the fire department wants to issue a permit.
Gotcha.
Well,
Okay, we've got hours, yeah, they can't transfer, they can't have stuff blowing around. We reserve the right to inspect collection vehicles and loads at reasonable times, okay, the thing with the tonnage, blah, blah, blah.
Bridget, if you find something as you go through them some more and we can follow up on it, if you come up with, I know you've been reviewing things, because that's how we've done it before, and let's do it once, and
No, I mean, these are really straightforward. It's, like I said, they're easy to read. I just want to make sure that
we've cut, right.
those, issues that pop up regarding trash can be,
Yeah. I will add some things to this about the educational material, dumpster location, and I'll check the other regs for that non-criminal disposition wording to make sure I've covered that appropriately, and then I can get another
Wayne, do you want
version of this.
Boston's? I don't know
Yeah, if you have any others, I'll take them. I've got a little pile here.
Yeah, no, I mean, they just have that section on the education. I just thought it was really nice.
Sure.
That's Boston, and then this is
Did you say you had somebody else local, right, Bolton? or somebody, or-
Salisbury, actually, not
Oh, Salisbury, okay.
Town. Do you have Townsend's regs?
I do not.
I'm gonna see if I can get Townsend's then.
Okay.
Townsend.
Yeah, I only have the ones,
If you do them up
On this
again, would you
list.
highlight the changes so it would be easier? You know, if you said you're gonna add some things
yeah, as
for
long as
our
we can,
discussion.
yeah, as long as we can agree that that's how we want them. Do you want them in track changes, or do you want them clean, or do you want two versions? One that's clean, and you can turn on your computer track changes into don't show changes.
You know what, I think if you did at this point, because some of these changes are already, seem to be okay. If you did track changes for purposes of just reflecting our discussion tonight.
Okay.
And
Okay.
made them in red, that way when we see them,
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
that way we can see that you've added in those discussion
Yeah.
points and then.
Okay, perfect. That's what I.
And
will
I can print out both on my end if I need a clean copy, but I don't mind working in track changes for now.
Yeah, because you know what I can do is, I know, Mary, what you're saying about this version. So whenever
Yeah.
you start doing track changes, if you've got comments, it pushes everything over. So I could actually, I think as long as I make sure I don't have any comments, it won't do that.
so if I want to make sure we're clear, because I think I am. On 4.12 then, it would be
Point
The-
12.
Yeah, it was page 5.
Yeah, I got it, yeah.
So it would be the agent of the Board of Health, any member of the Board of Health, or police officer in town.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
So we take out
Superintendent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
okay.
okay, excellent. We are making some good progress.
Okay.
To be continued. So, no public input, transfer station.
Is an FYI, the next, when you do the next one, now that you've added public input, kind of put it at the top, because that way if anybody.
Yeah, I can do that,
You
sure.
know,
Yeah.
the selectmen, it's usually as soon as they approve the agenda, it's
Yeah,
public input.
yeah.
So somebody
Okay.
isn't sitting here.
All right, just,
Thanks.
can you just do that, Jane, when we do, just
Sure.
make sure that's always, you know, at the top. Yeah.
Okay.
And, one last thing, when we put these to bed, when we review them,
Yeah,
and Bridget reviews them, and Jim reviews them, and DEP, take out town council.
I don't think so. I think town council has to review.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We have never given a regulation to town council.
That might be a mistake.
I don't think so. I do not think so.
I specifically asked Robert about this because I have a concern about making a regulation that we're then going to walk into something that's going to put the town in a more expensive legal position down the road. Robert's take on it was that the town council that does this sort of thing, reviews regs, does it so often that it would be a relatively inexpensive
Well,
effort for us.
Having sat on a lot of boards that town council has reviewed things and then changed his mind later and it's cost money. We have never had town council review any of our regs and we have not had a problem with them. So I can just tell you categorically, I do not feel that we need to start running everything by town council.
I'm not saying we need to run everything, but I think a new regulation where
We
we're
did the
asking.
keeping of animals, we didn't have town council. We did the tobacco regs, we didn't have town council. And we did the outdoor wood burning.
That was going to be my
furnaces.
question,
But-
because I knew that one was
But
very
we are
involved.
talking here
That
about
was very
indemnification of the town. We're talking about insurance limits. And I think that when we're trying to play legal, a lawyer should do it, not any of us. So if, I don't want to get us into something where
Well-
our board is going to cost the town money.
I
So-
can't see where we are adopting regulations for trash haulers is going to,
Because of some of the content. Do you understand what I'm saying? That there's language in there about insurance and about who they have to indemnify. And I want to make sure that that part is correct, because if one of these trash trucks runs over somebody's driveway and destroys it, does something to town property and destroys it, I don't want to find us in a situation where we have all these fancy words, but we are not properly indemnified. So,
I'm
I
going
mean, it's
on
not-
record that I'll
Okay.
tell you that I
all
don't.
right, point
do
taken. Animal inspector, job description. This one I'm actually hoping that we can approve. There is one change to the version, actually, I'm sorry, two changes. One is very minor. One is just a formatting that up here where it starts in bold, I'm sorry.
Like I caught that.
Animal inspector.
Paragraph.
Yeah, that should, yeah, you have the same comment, right? It should be a paragraph. And then on item number 4, per Chief Murray's request, we are going to strike everything after euthanization of the animal, period. And strike the, this is done by the air police.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, so it's just going to be the first sentence?
It's going to be, no, first sentence will stay as is. Second sentence will be the animal inspector is not responsible for the actual capture, control, transportation, or
Okay, wait a minute.
euthanization.
I have the one that says must ensure that, are you talking on 4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The
Yep.
animal inspector must ensure that all animals, wild or domestic, which must be tested for rabies, have been captured and euthanized.
Right.
The animal's head must be removed, properly packed, and submitted to the state rabies lab for testing.
Right. And then the.
Those two are staying in.
Those two are
Yes.
staying.
Okay.
As is the next sentence.
The animal inspector is not responsible for the actual capture, control, transportation, or euthanasia of the animal.
Right, but it's gonna be a period, and it's gonna stop
Period.
there.
All right.
So the part
that
about the
part-
police department doing
Okay,
whatever.
so that part is omitted.
And then the
Yeah.
final sentence
And the
will stay?
final sentence stays, because that's true, that's in the state regs, that it should be a licensed vet whenever
Okay,
possible.
so-
So
Okay.
these then,
So then you're striking, this is done by the Air Police Department animal.
yes, who may transport the animal, yeah. I'll give you my,
Oh, okay.
I can give you my markup.
Great.
So, this I also went over with Robert. He felt that we were not in any danger of somehow wandering into a, say a
Position.
union,
Oh, yes.
situation here. That we could change these regulations based on a vote of the board and
What, this is a
not
job
regulations,
description.
that's
Yeah,
right, this job description.
That's what I said last time.
Based on a vote of the board. And this actually would bring it in line with pretty much exactly what the state regulation has to say for what an animal inspector does. Boy, this file is really getting a lot of, a lot of use. I do have a copy of the old one. if you
No, I
want
don't
to
need
see
the
that.
old one. My one question, Pam, is that at the bottom of the state's document, it has a couple of additional duties. Not that Ayer is, I guess we can't make this presumption. Under the state's document and where it outlines animal inspectors, it has obviously, point A is rabies related, point B is barn, and then C is about checking ear tag numbers and date of cattle. Again, I know we're not necessarily a
Yes.
bustling community, however, and then D, municipal animal inspectors may also be called to assist with other domestic and disease quarantines in the event of an outbreak. And so
Actually, you are correct.
I'm wondering, and I'm not saying that we have a critical need for that, residents of the town of Ayer. But if
I
they're
don't think
not
we do either, but
in
you're right.
there and those tasks should happen to come up,
Yes, you are correct.
it's consistent with, and obviously, if there is an event of an animal disease quarantine,
Yeah.
there'll be bigger entities involved.
You're right,
But
you're right.
maybe the municipal animal inspector's role is communication back to the Board of Health. Who knows? Maybe it's just,
Yeah.
and so just to, if we're going to be expanding it to kind of run congruent with the,
Yeah, I think we actually should put that, and it probably belongs.
it might have just
Under
been
the
left
barn
off at the
inspector
bottom.
stuff.
It's actually, there are almost two additional duties that are kind of one-offs of both rabies or barn. It's just, they're both
Yeah,
kind
that's
of,
true, 'cause
they're
they
kind of
break
different. I
A,
mean, they're about cattle and llama.
Yeah.
I had to say it, I'm
Oh my
sorry. I
gosh.
mean, it's about accepting in cattle or llama from out of state that we basically, the
Yeah.
inspector, if by some chance our inspector went out to a farm and said, oh, you have some new llama this year. Do you have the tickets for where they came from? Because what that does is prove that their source has been clean, kind of like food.
Yeah.
From a reputable, permitted source. Llama. It's like getting llama.
How about? if
Anyway, so you know what, I'm
are
not
you
splitting
reading
hairs.
from?
This is the
Yes.
actual state
Oh, the
document.
state,
yeah,
Sorry.
okay,
yeah.
And it was just 2 points at the very bottom. What
Yeah.
are they, the chances of us ever having to impound llama? Or,
Don't
have
say
any
it, 'cause
kind of-
we will have a rabid llama
Okay.
tomorrow.
Don't say it.
Why don't I just add another?
just add C and D. That's
Yeah, I can
okay.
actually break this out under, animal inspector rabies, animal inspector barn.
You know what, it actually, it
other
doesn't even,
something.
it just kind of falls just right underneath them, because it
Okay.
kind of just, you don't even have to call them out, they're almost like in addition to barn
Sure,
inspector.
yeah.
I think that's
Okay.
fine.
So
I read them, I actually read them, and I'm fine with the fact that it seems like after several meetings and several discussions, that we seem to have a job description that will truly be able to encapsulate the duties of the animal inspector.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, I don't know, Pam, if you're looking for a motion, or do we need I think we probably
Yeah,
I
do
think we
need a
probably
motion.
need a
You do.
motion.
So with those amendments, what I had proposed as far as the adding those points C and D
Mhm.
from the municipal animal inspector's qualifications and duties issued by the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs, I would move that we adopt the job description for the Town of Ayer Municipal Animal Inspector with those amendments.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. I will make these changes and email
Okay,
this to you, Jane.
thank you.
Excellent. All right. Next issues we have to attack are, put away my huge animal inspector file. And after all that, I still missed two things. 2 minutes, July 28th and August 25th. I think we have seen July 28th, with the exception of there was an edit. And I think for August 25th, this is the first time that we are seeing this draft, I believe. Or no, Mary, you've seen.
I've seen them, we worked on them all last week, and I said they were fine. I was going to move to approve
And they look fine to me as well.
both sets of minutes, so that would be July 28th and August 25th.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Right, we will sign and accept the meeting minutes for July 28th and August 25th, 2014. Do you want me to sign my copy for both of these?
Sure.
You don't have anything that would be any kind of better original? Is this black pen okay? Should I be using blue or
No,
it's
use
okay?
it.
Or
Yeah,
black's okay? All right.
yeah, it's minutes, it's other stuff that,
All right. All right, there you go. We are moving at breakneck speed tonight.
well,
Bridget,
Here you go.
what do you
Thanks,
have
Mary.
for us, Bridget?
I left the envelope upstairs. Did you happen to see it?
Yes, I think I,
They were just actually.
I put it, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Did you see the letter
I brought
that
it
went
Yes.
out? Anyway?
Yes, the one you gave me a copy of that.
No, the letter for walk and roll. We did send a
Told them to
letter.
clean up their act.
Good.
I think this,
I
Is
think
this
I have it
okay? Yep.
yeah.
So
with me. I think.
I mean, not, some of
Maybe I
it may
don't.
not have
Yep.
been your
This-
stuff, but I
this-
think your stuff is in there.
property loss. This is just we get insurance company notifications for property loss. This just needs to be filed.
You can pass this over to Britt.
So we
It's
had.
just a draft, right?
Yeah, but that's how it was when it was sent out, yeah. We did, we had, yes, we did.
Slight heart palpitation, because I wouldn't have known. Here's a draft. of
No,
the
we
letter
did not
that
send
we
it out
sent
as Dear Blank, but
Okay.
You know,
So
we did actually get a name, so.
it's the usual. These are the dog bites.
Ugh, so many dog bites.
Yeah, we had 2 dog bites.
And a rather mauled skunk if we take it right up to the time of the start of the meeting tonight.
These are the zoning board of appeals and planning board things that I just went over and signed. So these are just copies of those.
okay.
Sorry.
And I gave those, the meat of those to Carly.
That I think just needs to be filed. That's just a property loss. That goes back to Jane.
I'm just flipping.
Yeah, those things just go in the property file for that. That
2
property.
food inspections, Hannaford and Lazy Mary's.
Okay.
Nothing major at all.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So there's a, and this is just, I don't know how the board feels. I made an executive decision.
Oh, good.
So
Yes.
we had somebody that, so Red House Iron Tattoos, they want to have kind of people like guest
Oh,
tattoo artists
right,
come in.
yeah.
So as long as they meet the requirements that Ayer has, issue them a temporary permit, which we've done in the past
Yeah.
for like Boxborough, where they've hosted a
Sure.
tattoo convention.
Yeah.
So we issued temporary permits. I just didn't feel the $175 for this guy was appropriate for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what Jim charged in the past, I think, was $50 for the temporary.
Okay.
So instead, basically, he met the criteria to be a tattoo artist, but instead of charging the $175, I just charged $50.
Okay.
Oh, and
okay.
it's got a
Because it-
range, it's got a
I
date on
see.
it.
I put the date
That's
on
good.
it.
I
And then
makes sense.
basically told him if in the next year he wants to come back a couple more times,
Yeah.
I don't think the $50 is inappropriate. Just don't charge him again. Just we'll issue another license for that
Right.
time frame.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like
Yeah.
kind of just an astronomical amount of money.
It is for a couple
So-
of days. That's pretty reasonable.
So since we license and inspect and the check actually gets made out to us,
Yeah.
I just figured, you know what? I didn't think that you guys would mind, but it was,
Nope.
We
I
trust
think
you.
it looks reasonable.
We trust you.
Yeah.
so I
looks
had
reasonable.
to kind of go rogue there for a minute.
Okay, so this is gonna go, this is our copy, so this
Yeah.
can go in the.
Yeah, I
in the
think
property
are
file?
these
That looks like mail.
fly? Is this mine?
Looks like mail.
That's all mail. and-
Okay, so this goes-
Your stuff is.
This is my walk and roll
scattered,
thing.
It's not all your stuff.
Okay.
What is Rengard? One of these.
Oh, that's the company.
CBA, yeah.
That's the
it's
company.
126 West Main Street, what is it? What kind of?
That's his LLC that's going to divide the property, that's all.
I think they're
Yeah.
subdividing the property.
Yeah,
126 West Main.
it didn't get
Oh, I
done.
know which one, yeah,
It
okay,
didn't get
okay.
done because they
I got
didn't
it.
have a quorum.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I
yeah.
keep this
Okay.
file?
So,
I like it.
Bridget, while you,
It just keeps everything from, I happen to have a lot of paperwork tonight. and-
I got it.
so while Bridget's here, is there anything, I can see that Taco Bell is hard at work over there.
Yes, they applied. I have to send them a letter, but they're fine.
They're really gutting the inside of the place, I think,
Yeah?
and they've filled about 3 dumpsters already.
Mr. Mike, I think it's Global Monte, I think that's
Yeah.
Mr. Mike's on Littleton Road. So they're having one's for a special permit, one's for a variance. Board of Health wise, it's town sewer, town water. I just made a note that they'll need food service plans to be submitted prior to construction. I don't know if there's anything else Board of Health wise you want before I give it to Jane to pass back on.
This is the existing Mr. Mike?
No, the new one
No,
going on
it's
Littleton Road.
global.
Oh, the global.
I think Global Monticello is actually,
Global Alliance
Yeah,
LLC.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, I think from a Board of Health standpoint, yeah, I mean, they really just have to meet the requirements for, they're gonna sell tobacco, are they? Are they gonna sell tobacco?
sure, I'm sure.
I'm sure they are, yeah. So,
Well,
I'll
yeah,
get
that's
them
just
to-
food and tobacco.
If they get all the permits.
Right.
I'll put
right,
tobacco
right.
permits need to be obtained.
Yeah. Right, but I don't think anything else there is a Board of Health.
Nothing Board of Health.
issue,
I mean,
right?
No, if
Town sewer,
they
town
get the
water.
permits and if
Yep.
they open the food establishment, then Bridget will have to go.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the only thing. I just want to make sure that they understand at these meetings that they need to submit plans to us prior to construction rather than when construction's finished,
Yep.
which is just so tobacco.
yep.
Anything-
Wow.
Okay.
What's new in municipal
And that area, that
law?
backs up to residential, right?
Oh,
So
I think it's
you
going to be a
could-
well-attended zoning
You
meeting.
know, you could make
Oh,
a note, I mean, as
yeah.
far as we don't want their dumpster sited on the back of their property that abuts residential property either, but I think you could probably make that if you get their plans, right, for,
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
actually make sure that it's
you know
on
what I mean?
smooth, I
Right.
mean, on the impermeable surface or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
And
I'm sorry, Jane. I didn't mean.
I see a friend down the street, he's out at work at Subway.
Yes.
And then what about Wendy's? Did you get the plans for them?
Nope. Nothing yet. I don't anticipate getting anything right now. They'll probably be later on. So, but what, I
All
mean,
we've
they're-
heard is it's going to, they're
Right.
going to do it, and it's going to be a slightly smaller one than now, but I don't know. I just thought maybe you'd heard this.
Heather, Bridget, Mary, anybody, do you know if this notice that we got from Colleen Boland, does this in any way mean that Ken Geekus is not our person
No, he is. He's with us
anymore?
for
He
another
is.
year.
So she's a
I
kind of a
I don't
different-
know.
I didn't see
who-
that. What is
I
it?
don't
Different
know. Can I
eye?
see the beginning of it? Oh, no. Oh,
That's
okay.
it.
Sorry,
That's
sorry,
it.
sorry. I think
is-
this is just somebody, she's from the
moving
city of
this way.
Worcester.
Yeah?
She's not from, she's just the,
Okay, all right.
I think she's just organizing some training.
This stuff is all kind of headed your way. We had discussed,
She's just notifying that there's trainings or something. You can pass it
yeah,
on there.
and
No.
this,
Ken is still our rep for the year.
okay, all right, good. I completely forgot, I will admit it, to follow up on whether or not we needed, Mary needed to update the training that she had done because it's now at another version. So this stuff is all headed your way.
And I do need to take the training.
I do need to
Oh, I
take the training
do.
as well.
I
There's
knew
no
that.
question.
So,
I knew that, I mean, every secretary took it.
Jane, can you find out
Sure.
if Mary's version of the training is still valid, or if
And I call
for
this
any
person
reason?
right here. Is this
I
who
think-
I call?
No, I think you should call Ken Geekus because the
Okay.
notice came from
We
him.
got it all
so,
from him.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah, and I will do mine. I will do mine and,
Okay.
and send it over to
So
you.
there's two of us and maybe three who need training.
Yeah,
Okay.
two definites
Well, I've done it.
and a maybe.
Just
I
they
know.
have
I'm
to
just not sure if it
well,
up-revved
You
or
know
not.
something? It's up to them to notify us if they changed it and we had to redo it.
Well, they
I
do.
talked
They-
to Ken many times and he's never said a thing.
They do notify us. They tell us to make sure that we're current, which I think we
I
do
don't-
by
they don't
going
do
on the
much.
website.
They don't
but,
I don't consider that
Yeah,
much.
I don't think they're
so.
tracking individuals. All right, so mail review bills. Do we have any bills?
No bill.
Yes,
Nope.
we do. I gave you a bill. There's the Lowell Sun bill.
Yeah, it's been sent on to Martha already.
Oh, we have to sign it.
We have to
Yeah,
sign
we
it.
have to
Yeah,
sign
you
it.
signed
Sign
it
it?
last time.
Oh, was
Oh,
that
we
just
did.
a follow-up
Yeah.
statement?
Yes.
Was it just
Oh,
a statement?
For the ad for my job.
Oh,
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Right, because Lawson does the
Fine.
billing
It's
for,
just-
yeah.
It's just passed in the.
I got it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Got it.
all right.
Okay, got
Yeah, I checked on that
Okay.
and made sure, but. that's
All
what it
right.
is.
Administrative assistant update. Have you any updates
Sure.
for
Yes,
us?
I'd like to talk a little bit about what happened today because it's kind of an interesting situation.
Okay.
As we're looking at the job description for the animal control officer and barn inspector, I think it's germane.
Yeah.
I won't mention any names.
Okay.
Okay.
A resident.
A resident.
Yes.
I got a call from a resident today who discovered her dogs got skunked yesterday, 2 dogs. So this morning, of course, everything smells bad. This morning, she went out and discovered a dead skunk in her backyard, their backyard, because it's a husband and wife and children.
Yep.
So she called. He called first. He called me, and I took the message and then called Carly.
Yep.
And Carly said, have them call the police. So the wife had called the police, and the police said, we have nothing to do with it. It's a residential area, and the Board of Health needs to quarantine the animals. Now, Carly will be looking into this with more depth tomorrow, but it appears that the dogs are both up to date on their rabies shot. So, of course, they're going to go back to the vet probably and, and get
a booster.
Get a booster. But the message that they left with the homeowner was that the police don't pick up dead animals if they're in their yard. So I was, kind of digesting this, and then I got a call from the police department, Casey from the police department, saying that their animal control officer was on the way over to get the skunk.
Yeah.
So there we have it. I think this may be an area that needs a little more practical delineation as far as what you do in cases like this. And one of the things that Pam and I have talked about is once we know exactly where we want to go with all this, to post it on our website so people have some strong, indication of what they need to do in these situations. Because typically they happen when, nobody's in the office or, whatever.
Yeah. I think we need I know we need a little more information on our website so that people can access information. I think this jurisdictional issue with the animal control officer is interesting. I would tend to agree with the police that if it happens on your private property, it's on your private property. Bury it.
That's right.
The animal control officer job description says the animal control officer is also responsible for the removal of domesticated animals and wildlife struck by automobiles and other animal control related problems that towns are legally responsible for. So I think that would tend to mean things that happen either on town property or on public ways. I don't think towns are legally responsible for something that happens on your own property.
Absolutely.
I see.
So I think that we could certainly add that to the information that we've been talking about putting on the website anyway, about rabies and what to do and who to contact and
just as a
You know,
side
so
note to that, just so I don't lose my train of thought,
Sure.
as a owner of many dogs, there's a responsibility on part of dog owners not to let your dogs off a leash, to be in contact with your dog at all times. If a person lets their dog off a leash and the dog gets an animal, then it becomes a public health threat in the sense that, yes, I mean, there could be rabies exposure, but that homeowner has to be held accountable, because if everybody lets their dogs out and this happens all the time, what responsibility, your negligence essentially is causing a problem, and then it comes back to us and it leaves the board in a situation where, does the head need to come off? Well, the homeowner doesn't want to pay for it. Well, you know what? You let your animals off
Correct.
unattended, I mean, I just, that's my concern, is it just seems to be happening an awful lot lately with animals, and, how much responsibility really is it for the board to do this stuff? Because that, I think, is going to be the next question. Is the head coming off the animal? And are you guys paying for it?
well, I think it's more a matter of education than responsibility, really. The way it happens to me, I end up in this situation. I'm crossing my fingers because it hasn't happened yet this year, but at
It's
least
happened
once
to
a
me.
year.
Yep, no, it's
Woodchucks get into my fenced-in yard, where my dogs run around, but they're fenced in, and there's no way they can get out. These woodchucks eat so much out of my garden that they are so fat, they can't get back through the hole in the fence quickly enough. So about once a year, I have an eviscerated woodchuck. Yeah, I mean, you keep your dogs current. If your dog is current and you bring it in for a booster,
Right.
from what I'm reading from the rabies
Right.
information, and I'd like to make more of that information available to the public on the
Right,
website.
and I think that I have one
Call
that
your vet.
gets out. I mean, I do everything I can do to contain the thing, but she's nuts and she
Yeah.
escapes and she's been
Yeah.
sprayed by a skunk. She
Oh,
brings
yeah.
home presents.
Oh,
You know, I get it, but then but there is I think that responsibility for people to really understand that if you are going to have a pet,
Yeah,
and I say this all the time, cats included. If you let your cat out,
that's right.
your cat is going to get things.
Yeah,
And if you do not vaccinate your cat,
Yeah.
it's the same thing with the dog. There's a responsibility on part of homeowners
that's right.
that have the pets. So I think it's not just
Yeah.
an educational aspect, you know, as far as the rabies end of it, but
Yeah.
It's
animal,
responsible.
like keep your dogs. You know, everybody wants to. I'd love to let my dogs off the leash. It's just not
Yeah,
gonna happen.
I know.
You know,
I know it.
um,
But even when you have a controlled, and I don't have a huge fenced-in area,
yeah, no.
but you
It
can't
happens.
keep all the animals
Right.
from getting into that.
But I think
area.
there's two components of it. I think that it's happening a lot more where we're getting these dogs bringing things home type of incidents, and you know, what do I do? And then we don't know what the dog came in contact with. You know, dogs come back with the
I
quills
know.
in them.
I know.
I think
And
there's
cats,
two.
you really don't know what they've been in contact.
Yeah, so I think there's two parts of the educational. I mean, accidents happen. We contain our
Yeah.
dogs; they get
Yeah.
out. They're like kids. But you know, overall, I think that educational wise, it's really good for people to understand if you're going to have pets, you have to take responsibility for them.
Absolutely.
You know, in this particular case, they're vaccinated. That's great. But you know, again, if I think we just had one not too long ago where there was a cat that got a bat, and the cat was unvaccinated.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know, you just
That's right. Yep,
you know, and
that's
the
right.
bat was rabid. I mean, there has to be some level
Personal
of
responsibility.
right.
Yeah.
So if we
Yeah,
can educate
exactly.
two ways, you know,
Yeah, I think that's true, and I think the keeping up with vaccinations, and I think not everybody knows that cats and ferrets have to be vaccinated, so we want to
Yeah.
do what we can to educate. And that's where I think Jane's suggestion of having someone do, a little article or
right.
something
And I
for
think
us
that
would be great.
you know, is we're seeing the dog bites come in too.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
just,
a lot of dog bites.
and I think like
Yes.
then there's the cat scratches.
yeah,
You know, we don't know what's going on.
I know.
So educated, can we?
Yeah, lots of
well,
stuff.
But
I
can
think on the
just-
website and maybe
What I really want to make sure of is that this education absolutely has to come from an entity that's an expert on it. Like, you can't just say, oh, it's going to be great, vaccinate your pets. We need to get guidance. I mean, even if you went over to the state rabies site
I
and
was
they
just gonna
have like
say.
a little FAQ, that's what you need. I don't
I
want any
have-
creative.
Nope,
No,
I have
no.
tons
Okay,
of stuff from the state
Yeah.
rabies
So,
website that we
and
can
if
use.
we put it on our website, we
Yeah.
put some links over there.
To go to the state.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's fine.
In fact, I've asked, oh my God, Sue Copeland, brain disconnect there. If in the census, we can put out a little small thing that just says, it's the law, you don't only have to,
Right.
vaccinate dogs, but also cats and rabies legally in Massachusetts have to be
Right. Maybe
vaccinated.
even have
So
some
she's
stuff
looking
here.
into that.
out in the front.
Yep,
You know, I
yeah, where it's more accessible because nobody really
Yes.
goes up to the third floor, so.
No,
yeah.
I just like I said, when you start seeing this stuff come in, it gets
Yeah.
Oh, it's absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this brings up another thing, and Pam and I have discussed it, is the possibility of holding a rabies clinic for homeowners who have dogs and cats.
We
and
do it.
ferrets.
Will they do that already?
Yeah.
we do it.
Okay.
It's all done.
I had a feeling that there was something that we do. Is it West Main Street or is it Park
I
Street?
think Ayer is Park.
I think it's Park Street
Street.
too. Yeah.
I think it's Park Street.
So that could be the kind of thing that, we just make sure we have links to on our website to facilitate that. We could even get from some of the local vets, what's I know my vet in Boxborough does it, I don't know, there's 2 days a month.
We
Right.
had it on the website.
You know.
Yep, we
before.
put it on the website.
Yeah.
We notify
Yeah.
the schools. Flyers go home to kids.
Yep.
So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of ways
it's
to
in
get.
I think it's in the spring that we do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think,
The-
yeah,
the
maybe
And let me know, because I also can put something on the bulletin board with
we'll
the
email
cat.
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we'll start putting stuff in the envelope so that you'll
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The unfortunate reality is very often people don't know what to do until they're in it. You can put
Right.
out whatever you want.
Yeah.
And it's the nature of the beast that people don't, and it's a very having done it in Bridget's role in my other job. It's very emotional. Everybody involved has something at stake, whether it's their animal, their kid, themselves,
Yeah.
whether it was warranted by petting an unknown dog, or being out on a run and getting bit by a dog or a cat. I had one where a squirrel climbed up the leg, and it was pretty rough. So most of the time there's a lot of emotion, and so I think, when we're talking about homeowners' responsibilities, pet owners' responsibilities, it's very challenging.
I know,
It's
it's-
so
Yeah.
challenging.
Yeah.
And the very best thing that we could do is just create those vehicles to get the information out there. But anyway, so that's just my little 2 cents.
Yeah, and I think, Ayer is it's a funny town because we're town, but we're rural also.
Well,
It's going to happen. If you have a dog or a cat, make sure you have a shovel because you are going to have something to bury sooner or later.
But there's other things other than even just that. There's people that feed their animals outside and leave the food
Yep.
out there.
Yep.
That
Yes.
brings in
Yeah.
others.
Right.
There's people with the
Yep.
trash, keeping their trash covered. That brings in the whole residential
Yeah.
dumpster trash cover kind of thing. So you have and then you have people that willfully go out and feed with the bird feeders and
Yeah.
certain things and don't bring them in, at certain times. And so it's always a challenge. Or you have developed areas that weren't developed 2 years ago.
that's right.
Right.
Nobody gave the animal a notice to vacate.
That's right,
Then the
that's right.
animal still can
Right.
smell where they had their babies.
Yep.
So,
No, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, like I said, as a pet owner, I've been forced to, look at both sides of it. I mean, you cannot prevent some of this stuff from happening,
You can't.
but there is, I can say consistently, I feel like we're seeing things where people are just not educated about animals.
I know.
Or they're educated, but I've even had people say, I wanted the big fluffy dog, but I can't afford
I know.
I can't afford
know.
it, but I
Right.
want it.
Yeah,
Wow.
With that comes responsibility.
that's right.
right.
People that have cats, it's the same thing.
That's right.
With that comes responsibility, and
Yeah,
if you can't vaccinate them, then don't get them.
absolutely.
I mean,
That's right, yeah. I mean, it's like anything else where there's a law that governs it. There is actually a law
Absolutely.
governing
And I mean,
that.
you-
So if you can't obey the law, don't get
No.
involved in the
Right.
venture.
so I think the first case of rabies in a long time where somebody died actually happened on Cape Cod a couple of years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a scary thing. I mean,
And
we
we're
think
seeing
it's something
more
that's never
and
going to
more.
happen, but
I don't remember seeing as many positive heads and bats come back positive as I have now. I mean,
I wonder if we're having
Rat-
another kind of.
raccoons, bats, cats, if you let them out, especially cats, at night, you run the risk of them coming in contact with something. And you don't know,
Yeah.
you just don't know. If they don't necessarily have to get beat up bad, but
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I
only
think
has to be
I
exposure.
think cats are, they're better fighters, so you don't always know when they're bad at a
Right,
fight.
right.
Dogs, I don't think are as good at it.
Yeah,
So
no, I
they
mean-
come home with scratches and
Yeah.
quills and things. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
so.
All right, so yes, that is definitely on our to-do list, Jane, to work on some rabies
Yes.
stuff. All right, is
So-
that your update?
I think that's it.
Okay.
So the next time you're going to report to us, because I mentioned it to you before on West Main Street, when we did the moratorium on the wells.
There was
Remember,
supposed to
some-
be a
They
RAB.
should be doing some testing again.
There was supposed to be a RAB meeting
Okay.
this month that the schedule for it got all messed up because one person couldn't do it and another person couldn't do it. And it is now, gosh, I know this isn't right. I have it in my calendar as October 2nd, but I know that's not right. It got rescheduled again. I think it might be the 9th or the 16th. So that's where I was intending to follow up on that. I also have been trying to contact Joan Hamlet. I was hoping that last week at the Parks and Recreation meeting that I could hook up with her and just discuss these, plans that we had for the educational thing for smokeless tobacco. She unfortunately had a death in the family and was not able to attend. So I am trying to connect with her outside of that. She did send me an email that she would be sending us marked up regs and that she would like to come in October. And my thought there was that I think that we need a little bit of time to take a look at and kind of digest the regs. So I'd like to put that off a little bit.
That's fine.
I also, last item for me is I attended the marijuana thing at MGH a week ago, Saturday, with John Hillier, and it was very interesting. I honestly came away from it with the impression that medical marijuana is primarily suffering from the lack of a Pfizer or a, Shire Pharmaceuticals or some big pharmaceutical money behind it to promote it. But be that as it may, that was just my opinion from the seminar. It was very interesting. I asked John if he, would be able to come before us at some point. I said, we're not, it's nothing punitive. We're not requiring anything of you. We just, are kind of interested in an update because there have been some changes that have happened in the whole licensing and approval process. And he said, absolutely. When's your next meeting? I'll be there. I said, well, not that soon. So maybe November, December. So he's more than willing to come and talk to us. So sometime next year, he's going to be operational.
If I read it correctly, and I think I did, that the State Department of Public Health is kind of being sued by some of the people that submitted a application, and they were supposed to do 35, and they only did 12, I think, and even those have taken a long, long time.
They did, and one of the things that I asked him if he felt this was part of the slowdown, and he said that he thought it was, that when they had that problem with some of the questionable backgrounds and questionable information on the applications, the state then kind of had to stop and go re-look into all that stuff, and that kind of slowed down the process for everyone. So they're racing to meet a finish line where it sounds like, don't even know exactly what or where the finish line is going to be. So anyway, he's more than willing to come and give an update. So with that said,
and if there's anything pertinent, I'm going to the Neshoba Board of Health meeting, quarterly meeting on Thursday.
I saw that.
very good.
So
Excellent.
I may or may not bring back something, whatever anybody's doing. I think that there's a lot out there now, and I don't know, we're a small board, but prescription drug abuse, overdoses, it's a huge, huge, huge problem right now.
It is.
So,
Does anyone know if our EMS in town carries Narcan? Not every, they don't all, I don't think.
Can I ask him?
I don't know, but wait, I can find out
Yeah.
tomorrow. We have the emergency team meeting.
Yeah, that would be interesting to,
I mean, they're an
To know.
advanced life support, so I would assume they are, but I can check.
yeah, just things I've been picking up in the press. I think not everyone does, and then I think there's not everyone carries the nasal spray version. You know,
Right.
there's the injectable and the
Right,
nasal
no,
spray, so
yeah.
I'd just be curious to know
Okay.
what do our folks do. So, then for action items for next meeting, I am going to have a markup of trash. And we will know who needs to update on training. Let's just call it update on training,
Okay.
Jane. So
Yeah.
if training update. And the other thing, Jane, when you, in all of your spare time,
Yes.
if you can just put something together for that collection of bulk tag receipts that we have, so that we can send in official requests
I'll
to,
do that.
the state archives or whoever we send it to
Okay.
be
That doesn't
allowed
need
to
to be an
track
agenda
those.
item, does it?
I don't think that.
You can, I
no.
think you can handle that.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I'm
have
just,
to be
no,
on
I'm
the
just reminding
agenda.
Jane to do
No
it,
agenda.
so-
I'm sure
yeah,
it isn't
no
something
agenda
we
item.
need to keep anyway, because that's just some internal
We do
thing.
diligence,
It
exactly.
was
Yeah.
internal, it's not really.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but all that stuff needs to go, we need to seek permission from the state in order to purge
Yeah.
anything from the files.
I don't think
Except-
we do on that.
You
Or
know,
what?
except it said anything that is, and I can't remember the name of the wording, Mary. It was something like, basically we have to keep things that are germane to the functioning of the board.
That's why I don't
But
think
things
this is.
that are not germane, and I'm making this up because that's not the way
I
it was,
can't think of it either.
it falls under the radar. So that could be, that we
Yeah.
don't need to do anything. But I will
Yeah,
take
maybe
another
we
look
don't.
at that.
Okay.
I don't think we do. I think we just need to throw it in a recycling bag and
Yeah, we
dump it down
might,
there.
we might be able to just do that.
Just
The-
throw it in a bag and I'll take it when I go up there and recycle, and I'll put it in the single stream.
probably the
Because
newer-
we looked, Pam, how far back to those
Oh, God.
They go
recycle?
back to the 60s.
Yeah, and
When
then
I didn't even know that we did bulk tags.
and then we can get rid of, free up some of our door space.
Right.
to
Put them in a
do-
bag.
Exactly.
Put them in a bag. Tell me
Okay.
it's there.
All right.
Yeah, but
And I'll
I'll
do it.
look at that, and Pam will look at that, and if it's, if we
rid of
think
them.
that it's
Yeah.
falling under the radar.
Oh, I don't think, I think that's something internal we did and nothing
Yeah,
required
it's
by the
germane,
state.
like, and everything is always to the last audit. So, it's
Okay.
once it's been audited pretty much. unless
Right,
it's
then we can,
permanent stuff like notices.
And
like
that's
death
definitely not
notices,
permanent
then
stuff.
it's in
Okay,
perpetuity.
I would like to make
Okay.
a motion to adjourn.
second.
all in favor?
Aye.